Hey guys, PogoSick29 here. Welcome to episode 3 of Magic Battle Coding. In this episode, our main focus is going to be starting with the commands. Before we begin, there's one quick thing that I want to do with the Arena class, which I think is it's a very cool and helpful thing that you can do. So, in Pokeball, and right now, we have this boolean of started, and we need a boolean for the count, if it's counting down. But I figured rather than do that, we can use an enumerator. And I believe that I touched on this in a brief video, but I really haven't done too much with this, so it's a very good thing to know how to do. So we're gonna make an enumerator for the game state, and these states are waiting, counting down, and started. So we're gonna go ahead and write public enum arena state. And remember, this enumerator, it could be defined in its own file, but I can define it inside of the arena class. So the 3, and all you need to do are waiting, counting down, and started. And that is all we need to do. If we wanted to save more information, assign some kind of variables to each thing, we could do that, but we don't need to do that right now. I think that when we get to making the wands, we will use a more advanced enum. I'm not sure. So then we can go ahead and change private boolean started. We can say private arena state equals waiting. And actually, we can arena state dot disabled, because there is a possibility that it's not even it's not loaded. So for in the beginning, we're going to set it to disabled, and then we can go ahead and say state equals arena state dot waiting. So after we set everything up, we put it from disabled to waiting. And finally, we're going to want to have a public arena state get arena state, or just get state, and it will return state, because when we go to make the commands right now, we're going to want to check the state, pretty much. So that should be good. Let's go ahead and get working on the commands. So we should probably make the settings manager first, actually. So commands. Or, sorry, it's not commands, it's command manager. Okay. And then we are going to do, don't forget that the command manager will be instantiated in the main class, but it only needs to be done once, so we don't need to singleton it and then, have the static instance that we pass around. So, we don't need to worry about any of that. So we need a private. And I believe, let me check Pokeball for a second. I believe we used, let's see what we used. We used an array list, okay. Now, I'm not sure if that is the correct thing or not. So hang on one second. Alright, so it is not a tree list. Oh, it's a tree set. Okay. And I believe that the tree set is what I was looking for. Let me just make sure. Alright, hang on one second. I just need to make the command to satisfy Perfect. Okay, so what we're doing is, in the past we've used array lists for everything. We're going to use a tree set because I believe that stores it keeps the order that you add everything. With an array list, I don't think it keeps the order, but like with a tree set, so when we add them in alphabetical order, if we use a tree set, then it should stay in alphabetical order. So this is where we add the commands. And don't forget that this does need to implement listener. Okay. And, no, not listener. Sorry. Command executor. Alright. There we go. So now we need our public boolean on command. Command sender. Command cmd. String command label. String array. Args. And by the way, for those of you watching these videos, I know that I covered a lot of this. I know that I covered a lot of this stuff in the Pogo Ball. But if you are interested in making mini games, I would really watch all of these, because even if you see, like, oh, it's commands part 1, oh, I already know how to do commands, I am trying to do some different things in Magic Battle versus Pogo Ball, so that you can see different ways, be them better or worse, of how to do, you know, all these different things. So, if exclamation point sender instance of player, and we will do a send message, because we don't have our message manager. And I'm not going to make one right now because this episode could be kind of long. Player P equals player, sender, checking, and then casting. Very important. If cmd.getName equals ignore case. Magic battle. If args.length equals 0. Send command usages, and then return true. Otherwise, we are going to do the thing where we say array list, and actually, I think we should probably, let's use a tree set. Tree set string A equals new tree set string args. Sorry, arrays.asList args. That should work. Okay, so what we're doing is, when we instantiate the tree set, we're actually giving it all of our arguments. By calling arrays.asList, it will take a, like a string, like, you know, I'm using it as a string array in this case. So, basically, it will return a new list that contains all of these arguments. We can then say a.remove 0, and we can then say args equals a. And actually, I believe a.toArray new string array a.size. And it is important that if you just call toArray, it will return a string array, I believe. Let me check on that. Yes. And it will return an object array, so you need to give it a string array. Alright, and that should be good. So now we want to say, we need our private magic command, get command for string name. And now, this is another thing, because in the in Pokeball, we had a bunch of fields. We had, like, the name and the aliases and the usage and the description, all those different things. So in this time, I'm going to show you a cool trick that you can use instead of having to specify the name. This won't be good for everything, but it will be good for sometimes. And before we continue, I'm going to go ahead and make the magic command class. And I'm going to make it inside of the command manager class because I don't need to give it a separate file. It doesn't really matter. And then we can, this is an abstract class. And we can have the public abstract void on command player P string array args. And the public abstract string message, and that message string will be what is displayed when we go to send the message, pretty much. And finally, the public abstract string array aliases. So as you'll notice, we don't have the name, because what we can do is if cmd.getClass.getSimpleName. And what that will do is it will return the simple name of the class. So this simple name of this class is Command Manager, Arena, Arena Manager, whatever. So since we're naming the classes by their, we're naming the classes by what the command is, you can just use this. Now, it won't work all the time for all of your plugins, but it is a neat trick that you can do. So dot equals ignore case name, return cmd, return null. So this time, instead of checking for a name method, we are checking the class's name. And then we can go ahead and say magic command cmd, or c, equals get command for args0. Actually, yes, we need to get the command first, because then we remove the 0 argument. Then we can say if c equals null, send message, return true. Otherwise, we can do all of this, and then we can say c.onCommand for p and args. And I believe that that should be just fine for that. So now I guess we could probably go ahead and make 1 or 2 commands. So let's make our commands package, and we will make a new class. The first one that we'll do is join, and join extends magic command import, I believe. Oh, yes. Alright, I believe that we will need to put... Okay, so we will need to put magic command in its own class. Magic command. Alright, hang on one second. About that. So, let's see, I was going and taking the magic command class and bringing it over here. Good. Now import magic command there, and perfect. Now we have our public void on command player p string array args import player. Alright, so we can go ahead and say, let's see, first off, if arena manager dot get instance dot get arena p is not equal to null, arena in arena, and return. And in the beginning of the next episode, I will make the message manager, but I just want to do this right now. Okay, then we can go ahead and say if args.length equals 0, not enough args, return. We can then say int id equals -1, try id equals integer dot parseInt args0 catch exception e, and this is going to be a comment, error occurred in parsing args0. So that's just a message to myself. And end the comment. Good. We can then go ahead and say arena manager, arena A equals arena manager dot get instance dot get arena ID. If A equals null, then arena is null, and return. Now, with the enumerator, we can say if A dot get. Oh, and I accidentally, it's supposed to say A dot get state, not just get. Dot get state is not equal to arena or if the state is equal to arena state dot disabled or A dot get state equals arena state dot started, then you can't join and return. And I believe that those are all the checks we need to do, so we can say A dot add, what is it, A dot, oh yeah, that's right, the methods are protected, so I guess we should probably make them, actually, I believe if we just go like that, then I should be able to, no, alright, so we'll just make them public. Good. A dot add player P. And that should be all we need for the on command. So now let's go ahead and see. It needs the message. So the public void message. And the message will be, or it's not a void, it's a string. So the message will be join in arena. And I will put in the settings manager that it will take the name of the command, so it'll be slash magic battle command. And actually, yeah, and then it'll be the command, and then it'll be the usage. Or no, it'll be the aliases, and then it will be the usage. And then it will be the message. So then we need, I guess we need a public string usage in our magic command. Public abstract string usage. So the message is join in arena. Public string usage, we're going to return ID. Because the usage is, you're going to give it an ID. And just as a reference, anything in the diamonds, I'm going to call them the greater than or less than signs, are required arguments. And anything in the parentheses are optional arguments. Finally, we need the public string array aliases. And this will return join. And actually, you know what? I'm thinking, I'm actually going to, I'm going to take 2 minutes just to show you guys something that I think that I would rather do. Because right now the magic command has these methods for message, usage, and alias, but we don't really need those methods. What we can do is we can have a private string message, comma, usage, and a private string array aliases. And remember that although this class is abstract, the great thing about abstract classes over interfaces is that you can have, methods and constructors. So we can go ahead and say public magic command string message, string usage, string array aliases. So rather than have the 3 methods, we can just go ahead and say this dot message equals message. Sorry. This dot usage equals usage, and this dot aliases equals aliases. Aliases. What's wrong with this? Change to constructor. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay. And then we just need to have a public string get message return message, a public string get usage, return usage, and a public string get aliases, and return aliases. And this is supposed to be public string array. And one thing really quickly is I'm going to make all of these final. Final in the sense of an object means that it can't be changed. Final in the sense of a method means that it cannot be overridden. So I cannot make a custom get message method in here. So now what we're going to do is in our join, we are going to say public join. Because remember, we're going to instantiate all of these commands, and we are going to say super join an arena ID J, and then we can take that away. And what we are doing, what is wrong with this? Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be magic command. It's supposed to be a string var args, I think it's called. Okay. Perfect. So now what we're doing is when I call super, what this is doing is it is calling the super constructor, which is the constructor of magic command, and it's passing it the message join an arena, the usage ID, and the aliases. It's a var args, so it means that I don't need to give it an array. I can just give it a like a list of all of the things. So rather than have 3 different methods, we can go like that, and it just makes the code much shorter. And the last thing is, oh yeah, it's missing a right there, I believe. No. Alright. Looks like it's missing. What's wrong with this? That's very weird. It seems to say that it is missing. Oh, I don't know why that return true is there. I think it's supposed to be up here. Or no, it's supposed to be, yeah, return true. Okay, sorry about that. So, that is all that we need to do for this video. We set up a slightly modified command manager. We set up a very modified abstract command class, which we are calling magic command, and we made one command to demonstrate it. So in the next few episodes, maybe it'll take 2 or 3 more, we will make all of the commands. After that, we need to do the listeners, we need to do the wands, and there may be a few other things that we need to do. So, stay tuned for that. As always, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment with what you want to learn. And if you liked this video, click the like button. And I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye.